So,
How you been, Michael?
sorry, Manny.
How you been?
Good. I was just thinking about what I wanted to talk about. I was thinking of sharing a little bit about uh, learning to think for yourself and how important that was here. And I can even pinpoint after watching Muji for 10 years, right? I was a devoted Muji follower, like every Sunday, like church. And I thought he was like the perfect guru, funny, charming, always had a luminous answer. Um, and after after about 10 years, I was watching him and the thought hit me, well, how the hell does it help you if Muji's awake?
Yeah.
And in fact, it struck me that I never watched him again, funny enough. Like it was quitting an addiction cold turkey. Because something here wanted to know for itself. I want to know. I want to see. I don't want it secondhand.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm not quite sure what that is, like how to really talk about it, because it's just something in you. Like, this is too intimate, too personal to leave to the opinion of others. It's you.
Mhm.
So in a way, it's like you owe it to yourself to look.
Yeah, I think some of the suffering is that to think that somebody else has it and you don't. 'Cause I do the same thing with most of my teachers. They have something, I don't have it. And I suffer. And it's like why, like you're saying, why am I even thinking that they have something?
I call it the curse.
Say a little more, Nina.
It's it's like we're under a curse, and it's not who we really are. We we are like the Joker. We can be anything in the card in the 52 deck of cards, and just we can be anything, and we can call ourselves a card, right?
Yes.
But it's okay. We can be a card. It doesn't matter because in the end, we're the Joker. We can be anything
Yeah.
when we are already that. We just been mistaken ourselves for a limited number that's it, but we're not.
Well, so I wanted to say a little more about what looking for yourself, at least here, what that led to.
Mm.
Um, and when I decided to look for myself, that's that's when the unknowing began to become more and more obvious.
It's like recognizing that you can't trust something outside of you. And that seeker is always going out there and finding a new guru, a new person that knows, has no doubts. That's what I like, that kind of a thing. And I was attracted to that because I thought that was the truth. And and so what? What does that have to do with me getting me taking it in and giving up what I thought I was looking for outside of me? It's
Because when you look directly for yourself, you don't know what you're going to see.
no. The love of uncertainty is right here, right now. And it's fragile, yet it's dynamite. It's
Yeah,
everything.
that's beautiful.
It's whole and complete. And you know, this I remember I couldn't figure out what the emptiness and fullness is, that kind of stuff. What are they talking about? You know, when they say, or silence and the whole, the noise, and finally you ask, and it finally comes to you. But you have to really ask and ask life, and don't, and then it comes to you. It's not like somebody's going to tell you something, and the words are not it. So
Mhm.
nothing that anybody says is going to do it. I have to uh, actually drop everything I thought I knew. And that's where that powerless comes in. I was with some people last night and they were in pain. They're just in pain because they can't do what the other person wants, that kind of a thing. And I could see that they didn't want to give up the resentments towards the other, all these thought stuff. They're wanting the other person to be different, as opposed to me just surrendering to whatever, to life right now. It's okay.
So, this space of not knowing that's always here, one of the things that you can notice is that whenever there's a thought or a question arises, there's the mind rushes to fill the space, fill it with an answer. It will just fill it.
Mhm.
Um, and the place to rest, so to say, is before that space is filled with words. You let it. It's it's the silence that contains the power. It's not the words. But as long as we're like seduced by the words, we kind of miss the silence that's always here, and the silence happens to be the peace.
I remember taking notes for years, taking notes at these lectures. This man would speak 4 times a week, and the stories, and so now I have hundreds of notebooks full of notes, and all of the cassettes back then I listened to in the car, all of that stuff. It's just like
Mhm.
I never realized that all I needed to do was just be okay with being one with whatever he was saying, even to help, and give up. Jeez.
So I would say that there could be an interest in the space and the silence. If there's no interest in the space and the silence, then the thoughts are going to continue to be sticky. But it's like, Nina, what you're getting a cat head
I know
massage?
she loves me. What can I say?
Oh my God, that is gorgeous. That is hilarious. I
She
love
won't. She's she's 100 years old in cat years.
it. She
Like
wants, yeah, she wants to be part of the thought song.
she's
She's really beautiful.
Yeah, so that was our man Eckhart Tolle said he had nine, Zen teachers over his lifetime. They were all cats. Cats are great teachers. Leela loves cats. She just got another one. She has three now. And cats are very unemotional, like unlike dogs, right?
Mhm.
Dogs are, you know, and I love dogs. But cats just have a detached coolness, like you just can't impress them.
They get it.
Yeah, yeah, because they're just themselves.
Hmm.
We have the burden of self-consciousness. Like animals are not self-conscious. That, they're naked, they don't give a shit.
There's the worshiping of gurus until it's kind of taken away. You like I didn't choose to drop them. It just dropped.
Hmm. Hmm. Beautiful.
And I think it just got exhausted, like the worshiping and the looking up to them and thinking they got something. It becomes old. It just gets tiring.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And there's just nothing in it. It's like there's a point where you're just like, I want what they have, but I can't get it from them. I have to get it from myself. But it's not something we can actually have control over. It's just a happening in a way.
Beautiful. I
The
love,
undoing.
yeah, I would say, Nina, it's a noticing. That's why
It's just noticing,
you
and
can't, no one can notice for you.
nobody, no. And the me thought there was something valuable in following this idea that they had something. It's just an idea. And it has a very alluring, like, attractiveness about it. And it's like a persuasion or something. And it's like under a spell. Like, and all of a sudden the spell breaks. It's like, what? There's nothing there. It's empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's just this gratitude that it was empty all along. Thank God.
Hmm. So
And then
that's what
there's just, yeah, it just fills up. There's just,
exactly.
there's a place where it just, there's this void, but it doesn't stay empty. It just fills up
Yeah.
within.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it's like what what can be noticed is like every concept. You guys know those like Russian dolls where they have like one inside the other. You open it and there's another, and then you open up and there's another, and it's like endless. Like there's like 12 of them in there, and you think there's like three, and they just keep coming. And they're all empty. So That's that's what you begin to realize with these
Mhm.
heavy concepts like consciousness, awareness, God, you know, the universe. All these lofty, shiny concepts are equally empty.
Mhm. That realization comes as a realization. It's not something the mind can go find.
Just the opposite. The mind doesn't want its because if it sees it's empty, that how can you believe it if you know it's empty? You can't.
Yeah.
So it's got the mind is got a vested interest in keeping beliefs running because it keeps it alive. It's energy.
Mhm. And we don't need to get rid of anything. Like their ideas, opinions, beliefs, they don't have to go away. They get to be just playthings in a way. And they don't identify who we are. They don't define it, who we are, but we can still have them around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
yeah,
it's great to be able to speak with other open minds and it have just a flow, an open door policy, kind of like, what's your opinion? Oh, this is mine. Oh, great. And then just it's gone. There's no holding on to anything or there's no defending. We don't need to, like a lot of people that I come up against, as soon as I have a different opinion, they're just like, shut the door on me.
yeah.
They don't want to hear another opinion. So we
Mhm.
don't get to play and converse
Yeah.
and keep the open door policy going. It's like slam in the face. Okay. And you can't talk about that. And you can't talk about this. And there's no flow anymore.
Yeah. And I would say it's in Tim Kliss says this as well. You know Tim says I'm full of shit. You know, he knows he's full of shit. I know I'm full of shit. Once you know you're full of shit, you can enjoy every it's all bullshit. But
Yeah.
why not?
Because this character still has opinions,
Yeah.
but they don't define who I am.
Yeah.
And but other people don't see that. They still think that my opinions define me. So and theirs define them. So it creates a separation. It keeps it going, keeps that illusion of separation that isn't even there. They use opinions to as a weapon in a way, and it's not. I always had this false idea that opinions were an enemy, but I just is like just came today. Like they're not an enemy.
Mm-mm. There's just opinions. You said it. They're
They're
right. Opinions are opinions.
yeah.
That's it. No more, no less, unless
Mm-hmm.
the mind can blow it up into, oh my God, I can't believe she said that.
Oh, I know it's right. It's so there's all this revealing going on, and it's clarity. It's great.
Yeah. So can you call bullshit on your own stuff? Like, do you know you're full of shit?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, like I don't need to, possess anything as if it's like my life depends on it
No, but
because it doesn't.
there's this thing in Zen called the stink of enlightenment.
Mm.
And that's where like you sort of see this and then you think you know something. And pretty much everybody falls into it.
Yeah, it's just when you think you've mastered something, there's another thing that you
No, but
fall
you
into.
you think you've like you're
Yeah.
beyond. Like
Yeah.
you, okay, and I've had the epiphany. I am an awakened being, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Yeah, it's still within the realm of the dream.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still it may be a more subtle. But by the way, which is why not neo non-duality or radical, is attractive. Because if I take myself to be a separate, solid, tiny me, then naturally being nothing feels much better. So in a way, I trade for like a better concept. Nothing feels lighter than being a contracted me. But if you again look for yourself, that was soon seen here as just another belief.
Mhm.
Let's think of enlightenment. You think you know something. Yeah, if you think you know something, that's a good way of recognizing that that's not it, kind of, because this is silent and all words um, are not real or not, all words aren't really anything. So yeah, it's like if you think you know some for me, I'll be like, okay, I don't really know that.
Yeah.
Well, if you notice, right, our world, our society, whatever, it doesn't really celebrate silence.
No way. Celebrates noise.
It does. Fourth of July.
Yeah. The louder, the better. That's what they do. You could see it in sports. The more exuberant they are, the more people copy them, and that's.
I think silence makes us a little too uncomfortable,
Mhm.
so we want to fill that space.
Yeah.
Awkward silence.
But the people that are quiet all the time, there's sort of a mystery about them. Like they don't reveal themselves.
Oh, I know, right? It's definitely,
But isn't it all just thought on a roll? Like just thoughts are just speaking on behalf of someone that's not there.
Mhm.
yes.
It's just thoughts rolling out.
Even
Yeah.
even like there and not there, like not there is the
Yeah.
thought rolling out too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Any
So
thought
is there saying I've
goes there.
arrived, I'm
Yeah.
awakened is a thought. I'm
Mhm.
not there. I'm not arrived is also a thought. But the difference is there was it was horrible, this contracted feeling here, right? Like you'd hear like Jim Newman say, it's energetic. It's not just a thought, right? And he's right. It's a sense of location, I would say. You feel
Mm.
located. You don't know where you're located. It's just, it turns out that's just another flavor of this. It's not you either.
Right. It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
And it doesn't refer to anyone.
And that's where the looking for yourself comes in, right? Because you can look right now. There's beautiful sharing, talking. Um, there's faces on the screen, but the assumption that there's a separate person here and there's nine separate people there is just that is an assumption
Mhm.
because it's all here. Isn't everything here? Aren't all everybody's voice is appearing where? Just here.
But there is a difference, right? There's just no separation. The voice coming from here is different than the voice that that was just speaking, but they're not separate, but they are different, and they represent different conglomerations.
Sure, sure, Don. But what I was pointing to was something a little different. That you hear my voice. For you, it's appearing there. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about your voice when you just said, mm-hmm? Isn't that also appearing there?
Yeah.
And someone else say something.
I'm in your head.
Didn't
Something.
Nina's voice just appear right there, Don?
Where there? When you said there, where are you referring to that picture there, or over here at my picture?
Well,
What
I'm
did
in
you?
your, my voice is in your head.
Like your computer's
Yeah,
speaker.
yeah. You could say that, Nina. All these voices are in your head,
Yes.
your dream.
The illusion is that my voice is outside you.
Okay.
We're hallucinating. It's all hallucination.
Yeah.
But the brain seems to try to organize inside, outside, create a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Well,
And then
yeah.
it, right.
Well, it's like the brain says, what you did last night while you were sleeping, that's a dream. And this, though, is reality. This isn't a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems to have a lot of qualities very similar to a dream. Things
Yeah.
happen, they appear, they disappear. Like this doesn't really have a beginning, or if you notice, we're just here. We could all tell a story how we got here, but this is like a
Mhm.
dream, and it all kind of makes sense during the dream.
Yeah.
But in deep sleep, tonight, when you go to sleep and you're not dreaming, where's anything?
It's here.
You're not in deep sleep.
And you could have slept for eons, but the clock tells you in the morning you only slept for 5 hours. But the clock doesn't know anything. It's just a trick. Oh my gosh. It's just, we really can't be sure of anything. And there is nobody to be sure of anything.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
And so
That's good.
No, I'm not sure about anything. I just,
Yeah,
these words come out and they're gone.
yeah. I like that. That's good.
Don,
Anybody can be right.
Yeah.
I don't care about being right anymore because it feels like suffering when when there's an I that wants to be right.
You know, what's right? What's right? What's that?
yeah.
I gotta hear Don say, but it's included also.
I
Everything
know.
is included.
Yeah.
The right, the
Well,
wrong, the indifference.
you have to get one of those buttons, you know. You hit the button and it just makes the statement.
That's included also.
It's like we're a kaleidoscope and everything's included in this kaleidoscope
Yeah.
and nothing can ever separate from it, but it can create an illusion that there's separate parts. And
hmm That was the imagery I used. I don't know if any of you saw, I posted a 4-minute video of Leela and I talking about death and reincarnation.
oh, I haven't seen that yet.
And I found a cool graphic. It looks like a kaleidoscope in the video. And it's just endlessly creating different patterns as you
Yeah.
heard me talk about impermanence, and everything is impermanent and it's in a
Mhm.
constant state. So this is reincarnation right now. This is all, like you said, like a kaleidoscope. Nothing's added to the kaleidoscope. It's just
Right.
turning and making endless patterns.
Yeah, the patterns are endless, infinite. It's great to see patterns. It's like we're on some sort of investigative journalistic I don't know, investigation. Like, oh, there's always this revealing of a pattern, and then there's a seeing of it where there wasn't before, and then there's a
Mm,
seeing,
yeah.
and it's endless. That's what's happening here, right? Like in the last few days, it's like the decoding is happening. And I never saw things before, and then there's a seeing, and then it's like, wow. It's that's just what's happening. Patterns in nature, patterns in relationships, patterns in psychology. It's just all patterns.
Hmm.
Nobody has them. They're not like it's not like a possession or anything. It's just a happening.
Yeah, the whole thing is a happening, including our thoughts. There's nobody doing thoughts. Thoughts are like clouds or the wind, or they're an appearance. But we mistake thoughts for us. We think that's our voice.
Yeah. It's like thoughts can make you believe that you're doing something if you believe the thoughts. And they like to be believed and they become more personal when you believe them. And then that funny thing happens when the beliefs lift up. Like the thoughts still come, but they're more laughable sometimes. It's like, how could I do that? That's a funny belief. How do I know that it was me that did that? Thought.
So I would say there's a difference between engaging a thought, which often happens unconsciously. You're just caught up in thoughts, nothing to be done. But when there can also be moments of clarity where you're noticing the thought rather than being it.
Mhm.
So you have no problem with thoughts. You're not arguing with them. You're not telling them to get out of here. You're just noticing, oh, that's a thought. No, like no big deal. Yeah, there's a thought, and whatever it's saying is fine.
Who is it? Who is it that is noticing that thought?
Another thought.
Who knows?
Another thought. Okay. So when you refer to you, you're noticing that you're referring to another thought. Okay.
It's crazy. It can't be figured out. It's
So what happened to awareness noticing the thought?
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
Well, you have to look. Is awareness just another concept?
It's another thought. Yeah.
thought made it up anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Consciousness. All is
I
consciousness.
feel like it's all AI. It's all just
Ha
artificial.
ha ha ha. Yeah, Leela about a week ago turned me on to we were playing with an AI called Perplexity,
Hmm.
and it gave the most beautiful answer. So in non-duality, and I know here too, right? Separation's the bad guy, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of drilled into your head. There is no separation. Yeah, but I feel separate. So, okay, I have to wait for the separation to go away. Ugh. But what the AI said was when I asked it, what is separation? And the answer was, it said, it's the imagination's masterpiece.
So good.
Wow.
Mm. Even
Mm.
separation's a concept, you know?
Mm.
It's a masterpiece concept for sure, but it was invented. So when that goes away, it's just this, you know? What is separation even at that point?
Michael, back to the waking dream that you were talking about. It's kind of that this is no different than the dreamer dreaming, the projection that's going on when that's happening. And then in the deep sleep state, there's no objects that awareness is aware of.
Yeah.
There's just it's for me it was like a that's where it gets energized. The body
Mm.
gets energized because there's nothing feeding on, no thoughts draining the energy and stuff. There's no objects. That it wakes up relaxed as opposed to constant dreams or nightmares or things like that. Yeah.
So when beliefs drop, like the belief in separation drops, like it just seen through that it's not real. Is that when the dream at night and the dream in the day, it all just, there's no separation between them? Like there's no separation between a night dream and a daydream, or like the day awake, you know what I mean? Like this waking dream versus the the dream at night. Like do they just merge and there's no separation between them? Because right now there seems to be a separation, like there's a distinct difference. But how do we really, really know that?
That's the thing is I don't, yeah, like when the beliefs drop, then you don't really know the things that you used to think you knew. And
Yeah,
they do kind of meld together, but you can't say for sure that they're not separate or that they are separate because
they have a
those are just definitions.
quality.
Those are like judgments on what already is. Yeah.
Well, so what I would say is separation is super useful, right? I'm really happy that this coffee mug of delicious Earl Grey tea is separate so I can drink it, right? So separation's not the bad guy, but it's not what we think it is because there's no separation between anything.
Already. Yeah, got it. Yeah. So beliefs can stay around then.
Yeah, like all of it, it's like when you're cool, like you ever notice that? Like if you're at a party or some event and you feel good, you're at peace. Like you're just like you don't really you're just watching the show. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't need really anything because you're just
Yeah.
like, wow, look at this shit. But when you're not feeling good or you're feeling self-conscious or whatever, it's a whole different experience.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes about me.
There can be beliefs, but they're not believed in anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
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 The attachments kind of detach.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a soft detach. It's almost like when I went on that to Oklahoma to visit my son and his family, and them, uh, the thought came up of being a dad.
Yeah.
And and am I going to have an opportunity to tell him what I know? Ooh, it's crazy. Never
Um,
came up and never, yeah, we just talked about life, what they're going through.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so, Manny, you touched on
yeah.
another when you look for yourself, right? You may or may not see this. But here, there was, with the posting and the blogging, and I've been doing it, it was the realization that there's something that wanted to live on, you
Yeah.
know. The words actually have come out. Oh, well, after I'm gone, YouTube videos and my blog will be there for free. Um,
Yeah.
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 Tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah,
It's a
futurizing.
it,
Yeah.
it's a nice fantasy,
Yeah.
but the reality, the world is designed to forget. That's how it works. We can't remember every piece of information or we just be inundated with and we get nothing we ever get done. So what the mind does is it only gives you what is important, what it deems necessary for your survival. Everything else, it's not in your. So it was so it was so humbling to realize that I was so full of shit that this would live on and make any kind of difference and that I would be remembered in any way whatsoever. When
Hmm.
that was seen, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Mm.
No. Years ago, it was a shock to realize that my children were not my children.
It's like that.
They're not, yeah,
Yeah, it's
they're
like that.
that attachment. It's a thought created concept that I've been programmed into believing. And it's a harsh one too, because that's what in Al-Anon, the mothers are wanting to control the kids because if they don't, they're going to feel guilty, and they feel guilty if they don't take care of them. They keep bringing them back and not allowing them to be responsible for their own lives. And, so the letting go is a big deal. Letting go, just like you're saying, over and over again. Or that it's impermanence. We've heard it over and over again. That everything is impermanent. All objects are. We were never born. We'd never die. That kind. The essence of what we are is what's aware of this right now, and then right now again. And when you're talking about the waking and dreaming thing, it's just there are two different realms of thought. And when one ends, the other begins. It's just like they call it the Mandukya Upanishad, and it's just waking, dreaming, and deep sleep state. And there's this consciousness that's aware of them. The essence of not even consciousness. There's this awareness that's aware of the three things happening, and they're happening within the realm of the whole. It's this one thing appearing as three different things. We wake up, we dream, and then there's deep sleep, and we do it again, and again and again.
But again, I would
That's a
encourage, I
that's an
would,
idea.
but Manny, I would
Yeah,
encourage look for yourself.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because I went through a Buddhist stage, I went through Advaita, I went through Hindu, I went through all of the major religions, Christian, all of them. And eventually they were all had to let go. They were all had dropped. They were all because every single one, see, everything to you is a concept.
yeah. They all have to be let go of.
Well, it doesn't have to be let go of. It just has to be seen that what you are isn't a concept. Done.
Yeah, it's not what it appears to
No
be.
more.
Yeah,
And you can see the mind wants more. Say a little
mhm,
more.
yeah.
And the hardest thing to do is you are not a concept.
Full stop. That Sailor Bob thing keeps on coming back. Full stop. That helps me for some reason. It's just
Yeah.
But like that's beautiful. Like a full stop though is no different than
go, go,
the,
go.
the, the total confusion. The total confusion. There's no difference of wanting to go to a nonstop or to detachment
Yeah,
or any of these things that we're all looking for is the same thing. And I think, you know, if you don't get it here now, whatever is going on, whether you're stopped or whether you're just filled with thoughts and going crazy, if you don't get it in the moment, you don't get it. There's nothing more to get unless that appears. If stopping appears in the future, then it happened. But if it's going for what if you know, it's like, what if you never get it? What if it never appears? And I would say it doesn't make any difference. Just, you know, wallow in the suffering. Wallowing in the suffering is it. I've had experiences in the middle of the night when I was just suffering physically, mentally. I mean, heavy suffering, wanting to die. And in those moments, I could get, that's it. I didn't need anything else. That was it. It's all it right now. I mean, like, you know, however it is right now for me, or for whatever, for you, whatever, that's it. That's it. That, or I can say that is the stop. It's not stopping. That's like a seeking. It's just this. I mean, not this like space or silence. It's this. It's crazy mind or pain or this. Or, you know, what's wrong with this? That's the question. Or as Michael's saying, what else is there, which I've been practicing all week, you know, but I'd like to say, you know, what's wrong with this? Whatever you're doing, whatever's happening, what's wrong with this? And what's wrong with when you think, well, this is what's wrong with this, which is what I'm doing. Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with this.
Yeah.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with anything?
Without thoughts, man.
The thing is,
None of those can be answered.
even the thought, what's the problem, is another thought. It's like,
It implies there should be a
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
Good.
it's funny. There's all much to do about nothing. Isn't that Shakespeare? I don't know. I don't know.
When there's a noticing of no thoughts, noticing of the stillness, what's interesting is that's not a thought. That's like the one thing that's not a thought. I don't know what it is.
Yes.
A thought can't notice no thoughts. There's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Right.
just it's the space between the music, between the notes. That's what was trying to communicate earlier, was that's that pregnant place when a question is asked, like, what am I? And then the mind will rush in to tell you, well, I'm that, or some concept. But no, don't fill the space. Don't go to mind. Mind can't tell you what you are.
Or go to mine. It doesn't make any difference. What difference would it make? That's another. There's another. Let's see. Don't go to mine. Wait. Go to mine.
Okay.
Go to mine. Don't go to mine. Get high.
Well,
You know, whatever.
You're
No,
right. No, Don, you're absolutely right, because it all ends. It's all here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it gets down to preference again. Suffering is painful. And the
But that's a
person,
memory. That's a
You don't
memory.
like suffering, huh?
Aren't we
well,
talking about a memory? Because is there suffering now?
No.
So what?
But
So suffering's a memory right now.
yes, it's a memory of a couple of ladies suffering last night, and they couldn't get out of it. And what Don is saying is that, isn't that beautiful? They were crying, you know, they were just emotional, and that's beautiful. Okay, we can say that, but they can't communicate with another person because they're caught up in a story that that they want to get rid of, and that resistance of this right now is what's keeping it from just being naturally okay. I guess what Don is saying is everything is naturally okay, but we're resisting it, and that's where the pain is. And that's also included, though.
Yeah. And the compassion will
Yeah,
just naturally be there
yeah.
because there isn't really anyone in pain. It's a projection that's showing you that you no longer are in pain. It's out there.
Well,
Whoa.
but I've been there, see, and you could
Yeah.
see where they're at, and you could tell them, but
Like your past self, you can
yeah,
tell your past self that
yeah.
it's going to be all right. And because it all
This
passes.
this too shall pass. Yeah, we say all these things, but the bottom line is that a natural state that where you're content seems to me better than being tormented within my mind constantly.
Yeah.
Even though they're the whole being at war in a war zone is or here right now. It,
I have to say before we close out tonight,
mhm.
on Don's behalf, that yeah, he's absolutely, you know what, well, what I hear him saying uh is it doesn't matter.
Yeah, ultimately it doesn't, or
Yeah,
right now it doesn't.
believe your mind, don't believe your mind,
Mhm.
do meditation, don't do meditation, take drugs, don't take drugs.
Be in resistance. Don't be not in resistance.
Yeah, yeah. What if it just doesn't matter?
Mm.
It's all just a play, anyways. No, you're not even
Mm.
doing it.
Yeah, way to go, Abby.
Yeah.
Here, I got a counter argument for that. Man, I think when you're just like so lost in neurosis and maybe you don't know about all this stuff, like things absolutely matter to
Mhm.
you,
Mhm.
you know. And the piece here is that it's amazing to see that like all those things are still happening, but it doesn't need to matter really. Those are just some thoughts. So it's like loosening up thoughts or something. Like there's definitely something people are like, you come to this meeting to have something different, or else why would you be here? And yeah, so Don, you're always a great one to respond because you remind me that I hate suffering, but there's nothing wrong with suffering. Same time. It's perfect.
Man, what a great meeting. We had
Yay.
Nina getting a head massage from her cat. We have Addie walking around with a damn chicken,
It's her baby.
just very casually, you know. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk my chicken now.
I'm bringing them home for the night.
Does he have an does he have a name?
Walnut. Shit.
What's
My
your chicken?
ADHD chicken got out.
Oh.
Walnut. Cute.
Your chicken's name is Walnut?
I have four. This one's walnut. And then, yeah.
I'm almost afraid to ask what the others' names are.
Allie, she has ADHD. And then
But
Button,
doesn't mind it. Yeah.
ADHD. And then
You
Carmelian and
guys are so
Gwen.
beautiful. You
Dude,
guys are just so beautiful to be
Well,
with.
this
Whatever is going on here, whatever. This is beauty. This is really, even when I'm suffering in the meeting, It's beautiful. It's great stuff.
It's a touch of reality.
Whatever that is.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Manny,
Thank you.
Nina, Don, Dominic, Casey, Addie, Alice, Anon, Wendy, phone number. Have a great evening, everybody. Mwah.
Mwah.
Okay, bye.
And much
Super.
love. Mwah.
Bye.
I